Does the stock market ever feel like some kind of secret club you weren't invited to? Well, let's change that. Right here, right now, we're going to pull back that curtain and make sense of it all, starting from square one. Okay, just for a second, think about a company you really love. The one that makes your phone, or your favorite pair of shoes, or that coffee you get every morning. What if you could actually own a tiny piece of that company? I mean, not just be a customer, but an actual owner. That right there, that's the big idea behind the whole stock market. And that little piece of ownership? It has a super simple name, a share. That's it. So when you hear people talking about buying stocks or shares, all they're talking about is buying one of these little units of a business. And this is the part that's so cool. The moment you buy even a single share, you are officially a part owner. You're not just someone who buys their stuff anymore. Nope. You have a real stake in their future. Their success is literally your success. Okay, so we've got these things called shares, these little slices of a company. But where do you go to buy them or sell them? Well, this is where that one little share becomes part of something huge. And that huge something is the stock market. Honestly, the easiest way to picture it is like a giant farmer's market. Seriously. But instead of people trading apples and carrots, they're buying and selling ownership, those shares, in all kinds of different companies. And these aren't just some abstract ideas floating around on the internet. They're real, organized places. To give you a concrete example, just look at India. You've got major exchanges like the National Stock Exchange, the NSE, and the Bombay Stock Exchange, or BSE. This is where all the buying and selling happens in a fair and regulated way. But why? Why does this whole system even exist in the first place? What's the point? Well, it turns out it's a pretty brilliant setup that creates a perfect win-win situation for two very different groups. So here's the magic. On one side, you have companies that need money, capital, to grow, right? To build new factories, invent new products, all that stuff. And on the other side, you have people, investors like you and me, who have some savings and want to make that money work for them. The stock market is basically the bridge that connects these two groups. So we get why the market exists. Now for the million-dollar question, right? How do you, as an investor, actually make money from all this? Well, it really just boils down to two main ways. First up is the one everybody thinks about. You buy shares at a certain price. Then, if the company does well, other people want in and the price of those shares goes up, so you can sell them for more than you paid for them. Simple. The second way is something called dividends. This is when a company is profitable and decides to share some of those profits directly with its owners. And remember, if you own a share, that's you. Let's make this crystal clear. Say you buy one share for $10. The company has a great year, and now that share is worth $12. If you sell it, that $2 difference, that's your profit. At its very core, it's about trying to buy low and sell high. Now, making a profit sounds great, of course, but we've got to be real for a second. It's time to talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that every beginner worries about. What about the risk? Because this is the question, isn't it? Is the stock market just a giant casino? Are you just putting your money on red or black and hoping you get lucky? Is it all just a big gamble? And let's be totally honest here. Yes, there is risk, 100%. Prices don't just go up. They go up and they go down. There are absolutely no guarantees. And just knowing that, accepting that volatility is step one to being a smart investor. But, and this is a huge but, it is not pure chance. See, unlike a casino, you have powerful tools to help you manage that risk. The two most important ones are knowledge, actually researching and understanding what you're buying, and patience, giving your investments time to grow and ride out those bumps in the road. So if we were to boil all of this down to just one single essential takeaway, the one thing you absolutely have to remember, what would it be? Well, that brings us to the market's golden rule. And it's this: when you approach it the right way with knowledge and with patience, the stock market stops being a gamble. It becomes what it was designed to be, one of the most powerful tools ever created for building real long-term wealth. So today we've covered the absolute fundamentals, what a share is, why the market exists, and the basic mechanics of it all. The foundation is there. That secret club, it's not so secret anymore. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?